Hello, my friend, and welcome to Pro Wrestling Daily. My name is Aaron Machbitz. I thought the May 18th edition of Monday Night Raw was actually a really good episode of Monday Night Raw. We kicked off with some civil war from Roman Reigns, Jacob Fatu, the Usos, all leading to tribal combat at Clash in Italy. Now I've been sort of racking my brain on who I think is going to win this match in Italy. For one, I could see Jacob Fatu winning this match. I could see Jacob Fatu winning this match. I could see WWE pulling the trigger and having Jacob Fatu beat Roman Reigns. Because Roman Reigns, I think Michael Cole said, has won both of the tribal combat matches. So this is the third one. Jacob Fatu wins. He becomes World Heavyweight Champion, one, but also Roman Reigns has to acknowledge him. Will that happen? That's unlikely, but I could see that potentially happening because that's a huge crowning moment for Jacob Fatu. Now, do I eventually think at some point Jacob Fatu is going to win the World Heavyweight Championship? Yes. You don't have someone dominate Roman Reigns the way Jacob Fatu has dominated Roman Reigns if you don't think they're world champion material. And I think Jacob Fatu has delivered in his selling, his emotion, his matches. Like, the crowd is behind him. There's not really a babyface heel in this dynamic. It's just two guys who are kind of going head to head, and it's very, very personal. So I could see Jacob Fatu winning, but the more likely option is that Roman Reigns wins, because Roman Reigns holding the World Heavyweight Championship is usually what's best for business, just straight up. He's the best that WWE has to offer. He knows exactly what he's doing in that ring, and how good Roman has gotten over the years is actually quite wild. And so, again, I can see Jacob Fatu winning, but more likely than not, I see Roman Reigns winning that tribal combat match in Clash in Italy and taking that title all the way to SummerSlam. Now, the original rumor was Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns, Night 2 main event SummerSlam for the World Heavyweight Championship, where Seth Rollins beats Roman Reigns for that title. I don't know if that's still the rumor. I don't know where they're going to go with Jacob Fatu after this Clash in Italy, especially if Jacob Fatu loses. Now, he's 0-2 against Roman Reigns. You can't just keep having him beat up Roman Reigns and then lose when it matters most. So that's also why I think they could potentially pull the trigger on Jacob Fatu winning in Clash in Italy, but I'm leaning towards Roman Reigns winning. Then we saw a fantastic street fight between Finn Balor and JD McDonough. It has to be said that JD McDonough delivers in the ring every time he's out there. He goes balls to the wall. He goes 100%. He doesn't take any fucking matches off. Now, do I love JD as a kind of a performer? Yes. Do I love him as a sports entertainer? Not really, simply because he's just not very charismatic. But put in the right situation and inside the ring, he is very, very good and delivers on a high level, which he did against Finn Balor. Now, where does Finn Balor go from here? Not sure, but it needs to be trending upward because the people are behind Finn Balor. He's babyface again. He looks fantastic. Finn Balor needs to trend upward. Another thing that I just didn't really care for, the women's tag team match was atrocious. Really, really bad. Really, really bad. Let's remember that Roxanne Perez is a fantastic wrestler. Raquel Rodriguez has improved tremendously. Brie Bella or Nikki Bella, doesn't matter which one is in there. They're horrible professional wrestlers, and they've never been good. Paige used to be very good. It looks like she's lost a little bit of a step, but the whole women's tag team division is an absolute mess, and right now it's really, really hard to watch. And now, one person I don't think that gets talked about enough, even though just because he just made the jump from NXT, is Ethan Page. I think Ethan Page is more polished and better all around and can be a bigger star than most of the people that we're talking about. I'm higher on Ethan Page than I am on Trick Williams, Javon Evans, definitely on Ricky Saints. Like, I think Ethan Page is up there with, he could be a world champion. Like, why not? He has everything that you want. Like his interview with Michael Cole was very interesting. He hands him the questions, just kind of new and original stuff you don't see. And he's not trying to be like a rich, sort of weird Ric Flair version of Ricky Saints, The Rock version, kind of copied and pasted. He has some original flair to him. He's really good inside of the ring. He spent a good amount of time at NXT learning exactly who he is, and now he can display that on WWE television. And I want to see Ethan Page succeed. I think he's better than all these other guys. I think he's better than all the NXT call-ups. I want to put him in there. I don't know if I can yet, just depending on how WWE feels about him. But I want to put him in there with Braun Breaker and Obafemi as kind of those are the three guys who can start main eventing WrestleManias. None of them are young. Ethan Page is not young. I was on the Independents with Ethan Page. He went to AEW. He's been in NXT. He's a professional. I'm not high on Javon Evans, Trick Williams, or Ricky Saints. I don't think they're as good as people think they are. But I do think that about Ethan Page, Braun Breaker, and Obafemi. Those are kind of the three people that I really want WWE to push and to make new stars. And so I really appreciated that. And so I think Ethan Page is going to be great. If I was WWE, I'm pulling the trigger. I'm having Ethan Page beat Penta at Saturday night's main event, and I'm starting off the career hot of Ethan Page and just having him trend upward and upward, upward and upward. Then maybe you can have him feud with Rusev. Then maybe you can have him feud with Rusev, feud with Javon Evans. You can have him feud with Finn Balor over the Intercontinental Championship. I'm also very high on Rusev as well. I wouldn't mind if Rusev won the Intercontinental Championship. I don't really care for Penta. I think he's sloppy in the ring, but that is what it is. And then we have this whole sort of hodgepodge of things going on with Seth Rollins, The Vision, Montez Ford, Street Profits, LA Knight, all these things happening. As I see it right now, it does look like Montez Ford is going to turn on Angelo Dawkins at some point. You can kind of just see him getting a little annoyed, a little irritated, and I think Montez Ford heel run is going to be generational, and I also think it's going to set him apart and going to explode him into like the singles career that I think he deserves to have. Because I've seen online, like, why isn't Montez Ford in the position that Trick Williams is in? I think Montez Ford is better than Trick Williams. Now, Montez Ford has been in this tag team for a while with the Street Profits. I think finally when those guys feud and they separate, Angelo Dawkins will be kind of the mid-card guy. He just doesn't have that much to offer, and Montez Ford will shoot up and have a fantastic singles career. I think that's the case. I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon, but I do think we're going to see a lot more between The Vision, the Street Profits, Seth Rollins. You throw LA Knight in the mix, right? And so I think that's a very interesting dynamic there. And then I don't know where LA Knight lands specifically with that stuff, but it's interesting for everyone to tell Seth Rollins the same thing. You have no friends, nobody can trust you. You have no friends, nobody can trust you. And he's proven that. In every group, he just turns on everyone, or he looks out for himself, or whatever the case may be. And so it's interesting to see Angelo Dawkins keep having his back, and then Montez Ford come out begrudgingly kind of, okay, I got to help my guy. I'm not trying to help Seth Rollins. And then LA Knight basically saying, hey, you're on your own, mate. And so that's very, very, very interesting. We're going to get some sort of six-man tag at some point. I wouldn't be surprised if the Street Profits beat The Vision at Saturday night's main event. I also wouldn't be surprised if they didn't, just to extend the feud a little bit longer. But the most shocking thing that came from the May 18th edition of Monday Night Raw was the return of Brock Lesnar. He was retired. Everyone said he was retired. WWE put him in the video package. He signed the retirement sheet or whatever the case may be. And then boom, Obafemi open challenge. Brock Lesnar sneaks behind him, crushes him, hits him with 4 F5s. And now we've brought back Brock Lesnar, and Obafemi and Brock Lesnar are going head to head now in Clash in Italy. It hasn't been officially declared, but Brock Lesnar has signed the contract. Obafemi certainly will. And now they go head to head again. And I can see Brock Lesnar winning this match. Obafemi wins at WrestleMania. Brock Lesnar retires. Brock Lesnar comes back because he's contractually obligated. And he didn't want to lose to Gunther in his last match, so he made this work with Obafemi. Now in Clash in Italy, Brock Lesnar will beat Obafemi. They will be tied 1-1, and the rubber match will happen at SummerSlam in Minneapolis, in Brock Lesnar's hometown, and that is where Obafemi will retire Brock Lesnar, and that will be that. I think that's a fantastic idea. Brock Lesnar beats him in Italy, and then Obafemi beats him in front of his hometown in his last match ever, and then boom, that makes a star. That makes Obafemi. You've extended the feud out over the summer. You can see Obafemi really sink his teeth into a feud and how he can elevate his game week in and week out and pay-per-view or PLE after PLE to really step up to the plate to go with one of the best to ever do it, because the matches are going to get longer. They're going to have a little longer match than 4 minutes at Clash in Italy, and they're going to have a little bit longer match in SummerSlam if that is where WWE takes it, and I'm very excited about it. I was shocked to see Brock Lesnar at Monday Night Raw. Did not expect that at all. I expected some freaking jabroni to walk down the ramp to face Obafemi, same 3 moves, and then we move on, and then I was going to talk shit about it here, but instead we got the return of Brock Lesnar. Now we might get 2 more Brock Lesnar matches, and then he will officially retire at SummerSlam in Minneapolis at the hands of the ruler, Obafemi. So let me know what you think in the comments down below about the May 18th edition of Monday Night Raw, or anything else that might be on your mind. Then like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. Lots of love. Cheers.